When I was in college, I joined a multi-level marketing program. And say what you want about MLMs, they work. They get people to get off their butts and to do stuff, whether it's juice or fitness or insurance or whatever. The whole way that MLMs are built to work is to get people to go out and have enough courage to pursue their dreams. So when I was at part of this MLM, I would go to these rah-rah meetings where they would get you all pumped up to go out and sell. And in that meeting, the boss that I had, he would say this phrase that has stuck with me forever. The phrase is normal, poor, crazy, rich. And the reason he would say it, or at least the way I interpreted it, was that a lot of times people would be too afraid to go out and ask for what they want. They'd be too afraid to share their MLM idea with their friends, or too afraid to ask people for a sale. So he would remind people that in order to have great results or to have goals that are outside of what most people would expect, you have to do things that most people wouldn't do. And for me, growing up in central Utah, in a family that was relatively poor, I had no idea what was possible. I hadn't been exposed to very much. I really just didn't know what was even possible. So the MLM thing fizzled out like most MLM things do. And I'm walking right now. I went to the next job, which was a sales job. And I was okay at sales. It got me through college, but I went to this sales job working for a guy named Rick. And Rick was really good at sales. He was the founder of the company, and he was training me on how to sell. Rick is really good at sales, and he's training me. And he asks me one day, Corey, how much money do you want to make? And I thought about it for a second, and I thought, well, what's a good full-time wage? And in my experience, if I could make $30,000, that'd be more money than anybody in my family had made, and I'd be really well off. So I said $30,000, and he laughed at me. This 50-plus-year-old man just like doubled over with laughter while we're sitting in his car, and I felt so embarrassed, and I was like, why are you laughing at me? Turns out that he was laughing at me because $30,000 isn't very much money in a year. And he himself had built and sold several businesses that made many, many times that amount of money. And I realized there's so much about the world that I do not know. And since then, I've had an opportunity to meet a lot of really cool people. I've had an opportunity to meet people from all over the world who are doing all kinds of really interesting things. And I've been lucky enough here in Portland to build up a network of friends and acquaintances who are doing some really cool stuff. And that is what I want to share with you next. So it turns out that a lot of the folks that I know that are doing interesting things attended the World Domination Summit in Portland. You can look that up. It's worlddominationsummit.com, I think. Anyway, the World Domination Summit is all about bringing together people who are adventurous, people who are doing crazy things, people who are travelers, people who are just, kind of a bunch of weirdos and misfits. And I'm going to introduce you to a few of them, and you can hear about their stories. Okay, I am at the potluck for the World Domination Summit Portland chapter. We are hanging out, talking about great things. Tonight I'm going to ask a few people, how are you contributing to changing the world? So I asked Charlie and Melissa, how are you contributing to the change you'd like to see in the world? So Charlie?
Oh, I was going to point to Melissa.
Charlie.
All right, Melissa, you go first. Ladies first.
I'm trying to make the world a more beautiful place through good design and photography and the art that I create, and help my clients as well do the same with their presentation that they're putting out there.
So I'm going to say two things, actually. So one is reminding people about the possibilities that they think they can't do are actually ones that they can create. And so part of that is being that sort of change, but also I think the other one is making spaces so that we have the conversations with each other that we have in our heads.
Okay, so now I'm here with Tara.
I am a green guru, and I am working right now on getting people signed up for renewable energy. So it's a super awesome program. It costs the average customer about $6 a month, and it's the equivalent of taking a car off the road for an entire year.
All right, Joaquin, how are you contributing to the change you'd like to see in the world?
At this moment, I'm studying acupuncture, and that really creates a space for an individual to kind of be in a space of healing and connecting with itself and kind of release the ailments they're going through.
I'm here with Mo. Mo, how are you contributing to the change you'd like to see in the world?
I want to show up in the world and encourage people that no matter how young or how old you are, it's never too late to show up to yourself, whether at work, or working for somebody else, or for yourself. Show up as the way you are, as your authentic self. And I do that by bringing humanity in a workplace, especially a corporate workplace, and by hacking corporate, bringing fun, bringing passion, bringing meaning, and also bringing sense of community in workplaces and also in my various communities, both online and in real life.
All right, another WDS friend, Vicky.
Well, my motto is to show up and tell the truth. And in this election year, it's very important to stick by your ideals and not let the pundits or the wave of popular opinion sway you.
All right, now I'm here with Brian.
In the last year, I've got in touch with some people from Australia and an organization that has coined the term causism. It's a new therapy modality that this guy has discovered. I came across it last year. The guy's name is John Mace, and it is a pretty amazing, simple therapy modality that is just the easiest thing to apply.
The funny thing about these stories is that they're not earth-shattering stories, and from just talking to somebody who's doing the work each day, it doesn't look like world-changing work. When you talk to somebody who's in the middle of doing amazing things, a lot of times it just looks like they're working. And I'm so glad that I got the opportunity to get my friends to share some of their stuff with you guys, because it's really cool. Whether that change is big or small, you got to hear a little bit of their stories, and I hope that it inspires you to go out and do some cool stuff. And I hope that you'll see that you can change the world from wherever you're at, that you can make a difference in your own network and in your own hemisphere, in your own sphere of influence. You can make a difference among those you know. You can make a difference among your friends. You can be a person of no small reputation among those who know you. Are more powerful than you think you are. I hope that you are entertained by this video.